Everyone knows Halo Combat Evolved is like a hamburger, with its bun, patty, tomato ketchup, cheese, and library. It's standard really, as on paper, Halo shouldn't be anything special. There are thousands of burgers with these exact same ingredients, but why does this one have such a legacy? Halo may have contained all the ingredients of a regular burger, but it tasted completely different from everything else on the market at the time. In fact, early analysis suggests that the chefs at Bungie may actually be time travelers, because how in the fuck were people eating burgers like this pre-Halo? This burger was released in 2001, a year famous for nothing really happening. At the time, every other restaurant was serving the same burger with a different lick of paint, unless you were Turok Dinosaur Hunter. But those chefs were just high. So when the legendary chefs behind Gnop decided to make a burger, expectations were reasonably low. But when the public finally got their hands on this 7-foot-tall hunk of metal known as a burger, it did to white guys in their teens what the crack epidemic did to predominantly black neighborhoods in the 80s. The main difference was that this time, the CIA didn't supply it. But Microsoft saw this burger and saw dollar signs. They wanted more. Why just stop at a hamburger? Bungie could do so much more, something bigger, better, and with half the time to make it. So Bungie, hearing this totally reasonable idea, began the mother of all crunches and released the Quarter Pounder with cheese, or better known as Halo 2. Now, at first glance, this is what Microsoft wanted, a bigger and better burger. But upon inspecting it, why is there a hole in my burger? To get Halo 2 cooked and shipped in the totally reasonable time limit Microsoft had set, Bungie only had enough time to cook half of what was originally planned. But even with the burger being technically a donut, didn't matter, because holy shit was this burger good. Halo 2 improved so much on the hamburger. The patty was meatier, there were more toppings, eating it gave you the ability to speak Russian, there were sniper jackals, and they added dual wielding. But this wasn't enough. Microsoft wanted more, and this time they were giving Bungie more time and more pixels. This was the Big Mac Halo 3. This was the biggest burger since the last one, and the first burger to be in the Super Burger. And with this new burger, Bungie also let you play with your food. In Forge, you could do anything with your burger. You could set it on fire, make a Jenga tower out of the bun, or even turn it into a pile of pickles. But after the Big Mac, other fast food restaurants began to become wary of what Halo was doing, and so they began to fight back. So, the restaurant across the road from Halo, Arby's, released their newest burger, the Deluxe Burger 4 Modern Warfare. Now this was one good burger, and so people began leaving Halo's restaurant to go across the road. But if this wasn't enough, Arby then released the Double Barbecue Bacon Burger straight after, so Bungie had to step up their game. But what was there to do? They had just made their perfect burger. Was there any hope? Then it clicked. They didn't have to make a full burger, so they went with something leaner. Crispy sweet chili chicken wrap. Halo 3 ODST. Now this was meant to be a side item to soothe the appetite of Halo fans, but it became so much more. People really liked this rain-soaked wrap, and after a smallish release, hopefully Arby's would release something small too, so ODST didn't have too much competition. You know, in good sport. This is the Double Deluxe Burger. The chefs at Halo looked across the street and saw the overwhelming success of Arby's, and they fell into a state of severe depression, and this depression was shown in their next burger, the McRib Halo Reach. Now this was it, the end of Halo, the final burger in one of the most legendary restaurants of all time, but all good things must come to an end. Oh shit, Microsoft still owns the restaurant. After the chefs of Bungie had left Microsoft, they began training new chefs to take up the mantle of Halo, but they needed time to train. So they retreated into the mountains of Washington and began to wait for their time to strike. Meanwhile, Arby's had continued fighting, starting with the double cheesy bacon burger, then the foot-long, then the jalapeno roast beef slider. Now, Halo needed to do something. They were just taking shot after shot, so 343 came out with a bang. The Big Arch, Halo 4. This burger looked great, and at first glance, it did look like a Halo burger, but it sure as hell didn't taste like one. Why are the buns on this burger so big? Why did all the budget go into making it look as good as possible, while making it taste like chalk? But as much money as Halo made, it wasn't enough, as on one of Bill Gates' trips to Epstein's Island, he saw Bobby Kotick having a bit too much fun swimming in his Arby's money and wanted in. So 343 essentially just copy-pasted Arby's burger customization into Halo 4 with no consideration to how that would go. But with Halo 4 being on the back foot, Arby's had their time to strike. So they fired back with the Smokehouse Brisket. Then the French Dip Royale. And the honey mustard chicken wrap.
Train go boom.
Okay, none of those were very good. With Arby's having shit the bed for the last few burgers, now it was time for Halo to strike back. All eyes were on Halo for the crown of best in town. Everyone believed in the chefs to listen to the criticism of the Big Arch and improve upon its flaws. And with these recent ads on TV, this is it. Halo, it's back! This is it, the double quarter pounder with cheese. Halo 5 Guardians. So, imagine, after seeing the ads, you saunter over to Halo 5's opening, approach your table and take your seat, and then you proceed to get knocked over the head with a pan. After waking up, you see the waiter and call her over. Dude, what the fuck did you do that for? And also, who the fuck are these guys? Eat these. And also, what about the ads I saw? Where's that food at? Oh yeah, we made that shit up. Now, this would be less of a problem if it wasn't for the fact that this burger was shit. Yes, it met the bare minimum requirements of a burger. The meat was cooked, there was a bun, but upon looking closer, the cheese wasn't actually cheese, but a piece of paper with cheese drawn on. But it's not all critical, you know? The chefs at 343 did manage to copy something from the old burgers. The pickles! But the chefs must have loved their pickles a little bit too much, because they sure added a lot of them. Halo's reputation was now in the trash. So this was now Arby's' chance to strike them while they were down. So Arby's began throwing punches. First off, the Greek gyro. Then the deluxe burger. Then the white cheddar mac and cheese. Okay, Jesus Arby's, you can stop now. While Arby's were giving themselves a concussion, the chefs at 343 went on a spiritual trip to find the old chefs of Bungie. And after years of hiking through the Himalayan mountains, they found them, the Bungie chefs. And so, they began the spiritual mind meld. 343 began to learn how to cook a burger the Halo way. And after an epic training montage, they left the mountains and began work on their next burger. They took what had worked from their old burgers and what they had learned from the Bungie monks and mixed it into one. The cheese was real and the produce was fresh. Only thing that could mess this burger up is that if it was released and the burger was undercooked and missing half of it. But come on, that would never happen, because this was the next 10 years of burgers, the Grand Big Mac. This was a Halo burger. Well, that was until you got to the middle of the burger and realized it was undercooked. Well, where is there to go from here? Can 343 successfully rebrand and make the next Halo burger? None can say, but through the smoke, there is still hope for both of these restaurants, as neither of them have abandoned their art style to sell vibrant pink skins. For fuck's